Previously, Alisa challenged herself with extra spicy ramen, only to flee the restaurant in pain. Kuze cooled her down with ice cream and a chat about her ambition to become council president. A shopping trip then turned into a fashion show, interrupted by Suu's unexpected arrival, leaving Alisa flustered. Check out part 2 in the description below. Now, let's dive into what happens next. That night, Alisa returns home looking a little down, but she is immediately pounced on by her own sister, who hugs her and asks how her day was. Alisa very lazily replies that it was fine before moving into her room. Maria, however, is not fooled so easily, and asks Alisa whether something happened because she isn't acting like her usual self. Alisa takes a deep breath and claims that she just came back after meeting Kuze and his childhood friend, quirks amongst her friends, and rigorously planned everything out, as she wanted their report to be the best in the class. She followed the schedule perfectly and collected data on several businesses all alone on Sunday. But when she went back to school on Monday, she found out that none of her friends had even started thinking about it. She got worked up and told them that the report would take a lot of time to write, but her friends seemed unconcerned, claiming that they had a full week to work on it. Suddenly, the blonde notices her work notebook and picks it up, claiming that Alisa has literally written a whole essay already. They tell her to chill out as this is just a school assignment, but Alisa is one of those perfectionists who has no chill, so she tells them to take this seriously. This results in her getting into a major argument with the blonde, who tells her to do it all alone if she wants to be such a perfectionist, and leaves. Later that evening, Alisa stays up late and keeps writing the report and continues to do so every single day until finally the results of the reports are unveiled. A different group ends up winning because their report was more cohesive, while Alisa holds back her tears, clutching her group work that she did all alone. That day, while walking back home with tears glistening on her cheeks, she decides that from now on she will never depend on anybody because they will always disappoint her no matter what. After that, she qualifies for a very difficult examination and is transferred to Japan, where on the first day, she ends up giving a speech at the ceremony, which immediately made her a favorite. After the assembly, when the class was about to start, she noticed Kuze for the first time, sleeping on his desk with no care in the world. She wakes him up, claiming that the class is about to start, and he groggily tells her that her speech was phenomenal. She introduces herself very cordially, as she expects everyone at this super prestigious school to be perfectionists like her. Slowly, the facade wears down as she notices that most students here are slackers as well, and most of all, Kuze is the biggest slacker, never bringing the correct books, always behind in physical education, and literally sleeping through the entire math class. He tells her that she is putting all her efforts into the wrong places. He claims that she is putting all her efforts into doing everything alone. But if she were smarter, she would have focused all her attention on convincing everyone else to work together, which would have lowered the load on her as well as involved all the students. She stands up and leaves the room while wondering what the hell that guy's problem is. The next day, however, is a total shift from what she was dealing with, as Kuze somehow motivated everyone to do their best for the festival, and they started coming up with hundreds of ideas for attractions. They started staying late at the school, having fun and working together, and slowly Alisa started opening up to her classmates again. The day of the festival finally comes, and it turns out to be a total hit as their attraction ends up winning the Best Attraction in the School award by a large margin. The festival finally ends with a student dance, where Alisa finds Kuze sitting all alone. He asks why she is not dancing as everyone, and their mother would want to dance with her, but she claims that she doesn't want to dance right now because every boy keeps bothering her about it. Kuze laughs and tells her that because of her attitude, everyone has started calling her the Ice Princess, but Alisa doesn't seem thrilled about it. She claims that she doesn't like the fact that they call her a princess because it makes her feel like she was born with everything, even though she has worked very hard for everything she has achieved so far. Kuze smiles and tells her that he won't call her that name then. Alisa then turns to him and apologizes for lashing out at him the other day and asks whether she could do anything for him to show her gratitude. Kuze tells her that she doesn't need to do all that, as she is still the person who put the most effort, but Alisa claims that she needs to repay him for his kindness. Suddenly, a bunch of boys appear behind her, and the incels start bothering her again for a dance, pressuring her even though she doesn't want to. Kuze decides to take matters into his own hands and takes her arm before running into the grounds, asking Alisa for a dance as her thanks. Finally, We return to the present, where Maria claims that it sounds like the start of a beautiful love story. But Alisa again claims that he is just a friend because he is capable and can get things done. But Maria is not fooled as she smiles at her. The next morning, Kuze goes to the student council to cover for Suo, as she hasn't come that day. There, he ends up meeting with Maria, who tells Kuze that she has heard a lot about him and wants some help with shopping for supplies. He agrees, and she immediately thanks him and grabs his hand. Suddenly, she feels a familiar feeling as if she has met him before and asks him for his full name. Kuze tells her his full name, and immediately she realizes something, but keeps her mouth shut and tells him in Russian that they should get moving. They start walking and enter a shopping mall, where Maria completely forgets why she is there and starts looking at different stuffed toys to buy for the student council. She buys a cat plushie and also starts looking at a lion wearing some glasses for the council president. But Kuze tells her that he won't be a fan. They start walking back when she enters a tea shop to try some of their tea. And while she is tasting the different types of brewing methods, Kuze suddenly remembers how his parents separated when he was young, and he decided to stay with his dad. But Suo ended up choosing their mom, forcing the siblings to be separated from each other. Suddenly, he snaps back to reality, only to find Maria in front of him looking worried. She tells him that he looks pained, and immediately hugs him while stroking his hair. This completely shocks him, as he feels a wave of nostalgia come over him, as he wonders why this feels so familiar and relaxing. His moment quickly ends, though, because he gets burned by the hot teacup, while still wondering why Maria's touch reminds him of his childhood. There you have it, dear viewers. We've reached the end of today's episode. If you're excited for the next part, hit the like button and share the video everywhere, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel in appreciation of my efforts.